Hello everyone, welcome to today's video where we will be discussing some common mistakes that gardeners make and how to avoid them. Let's get started. Mistake 20. We have the mistake of planting identical plants together or in a row. While it may look nice, this is not a good idea because if pests or disease strikes, you'll lose the whole row. It's best to mix up the plants to prevent this from happening. Mistake 19. We have transplanting a seedling. Many gardeners tend to hold the stem when transplanting, but this is wrong because the stems are tender and this can damage the water and food conducting tubes. Always lift the seedlings by their leaves and use a fork or spoon to dig through the soil. Mistake 18. Immediately repotting a newly purchased plant from a nursery. If your plant just came home, let it adjust to its new environment for at least a week before repotting it. If your plant just came home, let it adjust to its new environment for at least a week before repotting it. This is because the plant is already in shock from the move and needs to adapt to new factors like light, temperature, and humidity. Mistake 17. On the contrary, if you purchased a plant online, you have to repot it immediately. One of the biggest mistakes experienced gardeners make is over-reliance. Just tap the container on a hard surface gently and it will come out. If it resists, run a knife around the container to loosen the soil. Mistake 16. Using contaminated or dirty tools is another mistake that many gardeners make. Digging in different pots of soil with the same tool can transfer pathogens from an afflicted plant to a healthy one. Investing in multiple sets of trowels or spades may not seem practical, but you can disinfect or clean the tool after use or just wash it with water. You can use household baking soda or even vinegar for cleaning your tools. Mistake 15. Placing repotted plants in direct sunlight is another common mistake. The plant is already in transplant shock after repotting, so always keep the plant in indirect light or shade for at least a week before you shift to full sunlight. Mistake 14. Planting too close together is not a good idea and will lead to stunted growth of plants due to competition for nutrients in the soil. Sowing too deeply is a common mistake most neophytes commit. Sowing too deeply is a common mistake most neophytes commit. The general rule of thumb is that the seeds should be sown twice or thrice as deep as they are thick. Mistake 13. Removing the mother soil during repotting is not recommended unless the soil is too clay or if it's afflicted with a disease like fungus gnats. Just tease the roots and place the root ball into the new container while repotting. Mistake 12. Killing beneficial insects and pollinators like honeybees and butterflies, and also the pest-eating insects like ladybugs and beetles, is a mistake that can harm your garden. Mistake 11. Overwatering is the most common mistake and the biggest plant killer. Overwatering or water suffocating the roots can lead to root rot. Before watering, always check the moisture level of the soil. Mistake 10. Over-fertilizing with chemical fertilizers can kill your plant. The best fix to this problem is to use organic fertilizers like vermicompost, decomposed cow dung, and stuff like that. Mistake 9. Not following the hardening off process is another mistake. Hardening off means you gradually expose your seedlings to the outside world, mainly the sunlight, and get them acclimatized. Mistake 8. Allowing weeds to grow is an act of laziness rather than a mistake. Unwanted plants or weeds will suck out the nutrients from the soil and cause deficiency issues in your main plant. Mistake 7. Not showing the importance of sunlight is another mistake. Mistake 7. Not showing the importance of sunlight is another mistake. Without sunlight, plants cannot prepare their food and survive. However, the light requirement for every plant is different. As a general rule, for most Mistake 6. Not pruning properly. Pruning is essential for the healthy growth of plants. But pruning too much or too little can cause harm. Always research and learn about the specific pruning requirements of your plants before getting started. Mistake 4. Not providing proper drainage. Plants need water to survive, but they also need proper drainage to prevent waterlogging. Make sure your pots or containers have drainage holes and use well-draining soil. Mistake 1. Planting invasive plants close to other plants. This can cause deficiencies in the weaker plants closer to the stronger invasive ones. As you all know, survival of the fittest. Extra tip: relying on unscientific information in gardening. This is the most dangerous mistake. Newbie gardeners tend to watch so much crappy non-scientific gardening information and advice on the internet, which can damage their plants. A little bit of common sense and applying some basic science is all that's necessary for successful gardening. So these were the top 20 gardening mistakes that you should avoid. Happy gardening!